Greetings everyone, here driving around Orlando, recording first video. Hope everyone's doing great. Wanted to talk today about stress and anxiety. It's a popular thing in the world. It's something that affects everyone. Daily life, people are constantly bombarded by advertisements, negative news, even people, social media. Everyone wants to talk about, stressful things. There's a lot of positive stuff out there as well, but, there's still things that get to us sometimes, whether it's a stressful situation or thinking about maybe a failed opportunity, having regret. Some people fall into depression, thinking too much about maybe what they didn't accomplish or haven't accomplished or what they could have, should have, would have done different. Or, there's anxiety as well, thinking too much about the future and, what's going to happen or how certain things are going to happen. That can also lead to fear, which is another toxic emotion. It can also be beneficial if you use it as fuel. So, fear can be used as fuel for survival. The fight or flight response, you've probably heard of that. Our bodies get a jolt of adrenaline and they have the option to either fight, fight back, do something, take an action, or flight, which could be something like the body shutting down or experiencing shock. Nowadays, it's important to have tools at your disposal always. So since the beginning of mankind, we had tools. First getting fire started, carving out weapons. Tools have always been used for survival and for evolution. Now as we advance in society, we have more advanced tools. We have new technologies. We have tools that we could use in all things of our life, kind of as a hack for our life and for how we want to live. So, such is the case as tools for relaxation and to help us deal with stressful situations. Cortisol is one of the hormones that's responsible for stressful situations. So when you get a spike of cortisol, a lot of things change in your body. So if you encounter a stressful situation, you may get something happen to you where all of a sudden you notice your physiology changes. You may hunch down, if you get bad news about something. You may stress out and start breathing more shallow. You're not getting in your full deep breaths. So the physiological trigger is also going to make that feel worse for you. Your heart's going to maybe start beating more rapidly, and all these things are going to have a compound effect on how you're feeling. So it's important to realize what's going on and also be aware of ourselves becoming stressed and stop it early on. Stress is a tool as well, but it's on how you decide to use it. Whether you let it conquer you or you learn from it and you learn how to relax from that, you learn a lot about yourself in the process. Breathing deep. Another thing with the shallow breathing is a lot of us breathe from our chest, where if you want to breathe deeply, you're breathing more from deep into your gut. Your stomach should actually be rising when you're breathing, and that's because you're breathing in the air into your stomach, which basically you're expanding your diaphragm and pushing it down to get the air down into the bottom of your lungs. So you're filling up your lungs. Most of the blood vessels are found in the bottom section of our lungs. So if we're breathing shallow, just like the top part of our chest is rising, we're not getting a good supply of oxygen down to where all the blood vessels are. So it's very important that when we breathe in, we're breathing in deep, because it also has a relaxing effect on our nervous system. So it's very important that we get in the good breath. If you are feeling stress, it's good maybe taking a couple breaths. Breathe in for maybe 3 or 4 seconds, slight pause, and then breathe out for about 3 or 4 seconds. There's different variations. You can find what works best for you. There's also a lot of different studies that have been done about people doing it for different amounts of time. You can breathe in for 5 seconds, hold it, and breathe out for 6 seconds. You can mix it up and see what works best for you. You know, when we have shallow breathing, it cuts the oxygen to the blood supply, which in turn is going to affect our brains. So also our ability to make better decisions and be able to deal with stress. So yeah, it's okay to feel stress, but how do you handle it? You know, are you letting it overcome you, or are you actually using the proper tools for evolutionary growth so we can evolve beyond our, stressful or anxious states? Some of the tools we want to talk about was the deep breathing, and also talk about cortisol. We mentioned it earlier, but I also want it to be known that even if you have a spike, like let's say your stress and your cortisol level rises and you're experiencing stress based on what you're thinking or the environment for a period of 30 minutes, that cortisol level spike that has occurred and you've been stressed for 30 minutes, that could actually have an impact for days beyond just that temporary moment of stress. So not only can cortisol affect us in that moment, but it can actually carry on into a prolonged period of time after experiencing that stressful thing. That's why relaxation techniques are good. Nowadays, even drawing or coloring, there's best-selling adult books that are on Amazon that are actually coloring books for people to take the time to be present, be more in the moment, and not think so much about what is to come or what has transcended beforehand. So being in the moment is a big part of letting go of stress and fear, which is told. Eckhart Tolle has the book, which is a popular book as well, about being in the moment, being present in the moment. Ram Dass, Be Here Now, another popular, I guess in some ways you could say more abstract, but still similar points are being put across as well. Be Here Now. And those are very important books. If you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend checking them out. The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle, and Ram Dass, Be Here Now. And I'm working on the solar plexus. So got the yellow glasses today. These are very fun, uplifting color. It's really tells a difference right when you put them on. Sometimes it's good to balance it up, have fun in life. That's, I think, a lot of the times why we're here is we want to fulfill our higher purpose. We want to enjoy life. We want to have fun while we're doing it, while we're living this existence that we're so blessed with. Thank you all for tuning in. This is my very first video. I hope that you gained a little bit of information from it. I will be posting more, and my goal is to always be evolving. I wish you guys the best in your conscious evolution, and much love. Peace.